Hey everybody, and welcome to Bits of Board, where we're talking board games, miniatures, cards, and dice. My name's Michael, and today we continue on our journey through Kingdom Death Monsters campaign. Now, this is Lantern Year 22. We've defeated the Watcher, we've hit a massive milestone in the game, but from here out, this is endgame material. Nothing but level 3 monsters to come up against. It is going to be mental. So it's a White Lion today. We're going back to where it all began. Not much to say here. We are going into the development phase for Lantern Year 22 just before we prepare our survivors and stuff because last year was such a big video. So let's get back in, prep our survivors, and get hunting. Alright guys, here we are in the development phase for Lantern Year 21. We have 3 endeavours for our returning survivors and 2 endeavours here for our fallen survivor Eris. Thanks to our Graves principle, we gain 2 endeavours because she fell during the Showdown phase. Now, of course, we also lost 4 points of population, thanks to Eris, actually. Her and her seizures knocked out one of our retinues, and yeah, that lost us 4 points to population. Now, whether this counts towards deaths in the Showdowns or deaths during the settlement phase, because we don't actually knock them off until we hit the update death count part. So, kinda leaning towards the rule of death here. I'm going to count these as deaths during the settlement phase, and we have 4 more endeavours to play with here. So that is a ton of endeavours, and I think I know just how to spend them too. So let's do that. Alright, first off, we're going to send a survivor out to potentially gather some scrap. That's going to cost us 1 of our endeavours here. Now, the deal with this one is we roll a dice on a 1 to 5. We have to spend a survival or die. On a 6 to 9, we get the broken lantern resource, which we need for our scrap. And if we roll a 10, we actually gain a point of courage. Now, just in case we do roll particularly well, I'm going to send Dis out. He's on 8 points of courage there. 1 more and we have the See the Truth event. But I'm actually hoping for that 6 to 9. Alright, solid stuff there. We gain our broken lantern resource. Exactly what we want. Alright, that's 1 of our endeavours out of the way. Next, I wanted to send someone out to the story time innovation here. Spending 2 of our endeavours, we have a 30% chance of boosting our understanding. Or on an 8+, we can go the white speaker. Anything in between, we just gain insanity for our next encounter. Now, just in case we roll really low, I'm going to send Eva because currently she's got 2, 4, 5 points of understanding, which is actually the most understanding any of our survivors have at the moment. And I would really like to get to that white secret story event. So let's roll for her, see how we do. Alright, a 3, and we do gain that understanding. Solid stuff. I'm really hoping we get to see that white speaker event at some stage, but not yet, it seems. Let's hit the shops real quick. We're going back to the organ grinder. We haven't been here for a while. This is actually one of our earliest settlement events, but I'll tell you what, I need a right-facing red affinity, I think, for one of my character builds for the next round. So I want that monster tooth necklace because, well, we did have it once upon a time, but we had to, I think we had to trade it for a mask, was it? We had to cash it in during some hunt event. I couldn't remember what, but this is actually going to cost us that newly gained broken lantern and a spiral horn. Cashing those guys in, we grab the monster tooth necklace. Lovely. Next up, we have the barber surgeon, the long-awaited first purchase here. And I'll tell you what, I've got it on good advice that 2 we should look at getting are the first aid kit and the scavenger kit. Thanks, Andrew. Now the scavenger kit, that's going to cost us 1 pelt and 1 scrap. And that's this guy here. Now this thing is very cool because it's going to allow us to draw additional resources after we've drawn our resources for rewards. When you defeat a monster, gain either 1 random basic resource or 1 random monster resource from that monster's resource deck. That's definitely going to help with our farming. Next up, we're going to go the first aid kit. That's going to cost us 2 bone and 1 leather. And I happen to have, let's see, 5 leather floating around in the resource storage. So let's lose one of those. And we get the first aid kit, and I can totally see why this is going to save our butts a little later. On arrival, all survivors gain +3 survival. That is a good start. But then for an activation, remove 1 bleeding or negative attribute token from yourself or an adjacent survivor. Very useful. All right, that's it for the barber surgeon for the moment. Now, it's probably also worth mentioning that we've got a ton of iron floating around, but we are going to need more as the game progresses. In fact, we're going to need like 11 more pieces so we can do what I want to do, and that is a lot of work. So I'm thinking we'll send Dis back out to gain more scrap, because scrap can be smelted down to make iron. Yes, yes, yes. So we're going to cash in another endeavor, and we're going to roll hoping for that 6 to 9. I'll take an 8 there, very good. And we get another broken lantern resource. Here's one I prepared earlier. We'll lump that in with the other 5 pieces in settlement storage. And we're going to head on over and do some scrap smelting. Now, unless we roll a 10 here, we are going to have to spend 2 endeavors to convert all 6 pieces to 2 scrap. So I'll spend 1. Lucky can be the survivor doing this. It doesn't affect the character, but we'll give him some glory if we can. A 3, not very good there, but it's enough to give us 1 iron resource, and he'll go again, and that'll bring it up to 2. So while that does cost us a total of 6 scrap, we do gain 2 more iron resources. 9 to go. All right. Now, I reckon it's worth checking on Ceres. We sent her off to rest last settlement phase, and as a result, she has healed her broken arm severe injury. That means she loses the -1 modifier to her accuracy and gains her strength back, which is great because I'm pretty sure I want to send her out this hunt. All right, I think that's it for all the upgrades. We do have 3 endeavors left, and I think we'd better use these to invest in the future of our settlement. So I'm going to go for augury, but the plan is to do it without having to roll on one of the tables at least. We're going to spend 1 endeavor over at our pottery innovation, and we're going to use it fermenting. We may spend 1 organ resource and gain 1 love juice basic resource. So let's go ahead and cash in this screaming brain. We do have a duplicate hanging around in resource storage, and for our troubles we gain the love juice. Now, the love juice is awesome because it kind of keeps us out of trouble before we get to the intimacy table. So this is really good. Next stage, of course, is improving our roll on the intimacy table, and we kind of have to do that because we're forced into some pretty bad rolls there. So we're going to go ahead and send Eva on over here to use the Founder's Eye, and we roll the dice. On a 4+, we may increase our roll by 1. Here we go. All right, a 10 is exactly what we need there. And we'll spend a second 1 as well because we really want to make sure this works. 5 is plenty for us. So we're going to add +2 to the tables on the intimacy roll. And with that being done, well, I think it's time we spend that love juice and send 2 young lovers out. Well, not young. I think they're some of our oldest survivors. Lucky and Eva. Let's go. Alright guys, so we're rolling 2 dice here, and unfortunately we have to pick the lowest result. This is all thanks to our survival of the fittest life principle. Let's hope for the best. Alright. 2 4s. So we take the lowest result, a 4 there. We can add +2 to the result, but it doesn't change anything. A new survivor is brought kicking and screaming into the world. The child's eyes are free of the ink that stained the founders' faces. The settlement gains +1 population. Brilliant. Now, thanks to our family innovation, the newborn survivor will inherit some weapon proficiency of one of our parents. Now, I'm not particularly interested on doubling up on Lucky's spear proficiency, but Fist and Tooth is wonderful to have on anybody. I mean, if we can get it up to mastery. Anyway, our new survivor, currently unnamed, begins their life with 4 points of fist and tooth. A solid start indeed. Alright, and that looks to be it for our development stage. So that means it's time to prepare our departing survivors for their next encounter. Onward into the level 3 monsters we go, starting with the White Lion. Let's do it. Alright, first survivor out of the gates today, we have a brand new one, Lex. Now she is going to be rocking the leather gear here. Now the leather gear of course gives her immunity to bash, which is brilliant, and she's also got the +1 armor to all hit locations. That combining with the round leather shield down there means she's doing pretty well for defense. Now there's a couple of departing bonuses here, gaining insanity and survival, but the real meat and veggies comes down to this Zanbato because she is going to be working on that as a weapon proficiency. Now I'll talk about that in just a sec, but for the moment notice the connected red and green affinities there, which means the weapon gains devastating 1. Now we saw this in action a little bit more powerfully with the Twilight Sword against the Watcher, but this bad boy here is going to deal 2 wounds per successful wound attempt, which is wonderful. We've got 2 connected green affinities on the leather boots, which gives us this neat little ability. At the end of your act, you may move 1 space. Next, we've got the first aid kit. The first time we've seen this one out. Now, for starters, it gives all of our survivors +3 survival, and that is great considering she is brand new and doesn't have any survival to begin with. This is just going to give her that little bit of boost. On top of that, she'll be playing support, able to remove bleeding tokens and negative attribute tokens that are gained throughout the rounds. Now, that's pretty much it for gear here. But this is where it kind of gets interesting. And I don't know how this works realistically, but I want to run something by you. See, she is the daughter of Orin and Ceres, and we've decided to pass on Ceres' fist and tooth proficiency. Now that gives 4 points of fist and tooth proficiency, which is brilliant. But this is a level nothing survivor. There is no hunt XP on the character sheet. Now, assuming I can change my weapon proficiency, as any other character can, during the departing phase, does that mean I can change my proficiency to Zanbato and then start gaining weapon proficiency points from this hunt out? Ooh. That's what I plan to do. If I am overstepping the rules of Kingdom Death here, you make sure you let me know in the comments. But I thought it'd be a nice little sneaky thing to do, which means Lex is going to be building the grand weapon proficiency. Fingers crossed at least. All right, next up we have, well, our new leader, Ceres. She's carrying the final lantern here, and in fact, she is insane, so we get to flip this around like that. Now, we'll get to that in a sec, but we'll just go through the basics here first. Starters, she's wearing the Phoenix armor, which gives her this lovely charge ability that she is just not going to use. So let's forget about that for the moment, and let's look closer at the gear. She's going to gain 2 points of insanity on departing, which is going to bring her up to a whopping 12. Yeah, so she's proper insane. Okay. It works in her favor though. If insane gain +2 movement, I'm going to use those tokens there to help remind. And then we look over here at the Phoenix helm, and if she has a connected blue affinity and a green and a red, she gains this one. If insane at the start of the showdown, gain a +1 evasion token. Lovely. Now, as you can see, Ceres is working with the bow today. She's very good at this thing, and she's brought with her the clawhead arrow, which will hopefully chuck a -1 evasion token on our monster. Combining this with an exceptional range on the arc bow here, see she's got all the affinities necessary to bring up her range to 8. She's going to be a tough one to deal with. Now, her fighting arts certainly don't let her down. She's got the tumble fighting art, which gives her a 50-50 chance of ignoring collision. She's also got the combo master fighting art, which on a perfect roll, make 1 additional attack roll. This is brilliant, especially with the arc bow, which is a slow weapon, and usually you couldn't land any additional hits. To help this proc though, we've also got Timeless Eye. Your attack is considered a perfect hit on a result of a 9 or a 10, not just a 10, so it's essentially doubled our chances of rolling an additional hit. She's not without her faults though. She's got a few disorders. First off, being traumatized. Whenever you end your act adjacent to a monster, you are knocked down. But her being an archer, that's probably not going to be an issue. She has also got prey. You may not spend survival unless you're insane, and as we know, she's completely insane. And then last but not least, quixotic. If you're insane when you depart, you know it. Gain +1 survival and +1 strength token. Also worth mentioning, since she's had that lovely rest last Lantern year, she's healed her broken arm injury, which means she gains a lost point of accuracy and strength. And not only that, because we defeated the Watcher last round, totally forgot about this, every living survivor gained +1 permanent strength. So she is all the way up at 5 strength. That combined with the Arcbow strength of 9, she is, wow, super strong here. Alright, next up we've got Dis. Nothing crazy going on his gear grid. He does have the full White Lion armor set here, which is going to give him, well, nothing because he's not attacking with daggers or katars. That's okay though, because the White Lion coat comes with a wonderful Pounce ability that I'm hoping we get to use. Now he's got the dual Butcher's Cleavers here, a wonderful set of weapons. These are paired, and so he's going to be rolling 4 dice when he's attacking, so that's pretty damn fine. He's also got the Scavenger Kit here, which is going to allow us to stock up on additional resources. Now he does have the Rhythm Chaser fighting art, but this is not going to work at all for us because you cannot use this fighting art if there is any heavy gear in the grid, and that White Lion gear, well, that's heavy, so we pretty much ignore it. Pretty uneventful, but he's going to be nice and strong with those cleavers, I promise. Alright, last but not least, we have Null. Now he is a favourite of mine just because, well, he's rocking the steel shield as his main weapon here. Now why would you go out attacking with a shield? Well, my plan here is to get him all the way up to Shield Mastery, which is an extremely powerful mastery to have, considering it grants its specialization to all survivors. I mean, we're not quite there at Mastery, but as far as specialization goes, he's certainly got that. While a shield is in your gear grid, you are no longer knocked down after collision with a monster. And while a shield is in your gear grid, add an additional armor to all hit locations. Hectic stuff. As soon as I can get this on everybody, man, I'm going to be so happy. So let's have a quick look at his gear. We've got the Monster Tooth necklace, and we have 2 red affinities on the gear grid, so that gives us +2 strength, which is very, very nice. We've got a few other abilities floating around. We've got the Scream ability here that can grant +1 movement or insanity. Over here we can place additional Acanthus plants on the Showdown board. We have the Slam ability on the Screaming Coat. And well, this is where it gets interesting down here. Now the Steel Shield is by far the most powerful shield I have at the moment as far as attack goes. This thing, despite being a 1 dice roll, it hits on a 6+ and carries with it 6 strength. And trust me, even though it may not sound great, that is extremely powerful for a shield. It does have its drawbacks though, and grants -3 movement to the user. But it does have an ability. We may spend our activations or 1 survival to ignore hits. Very powerful, especially if we've run out of dodges, right? Now the other item we've got floating around helps counter the negative attributes of the Steel Shield. The Antelope Mask here, if we can pull off 2 red affinities and 2 blue affinities, red, blue, we gain this ability. At the start of your act, if insane, gain +1 movement activation. That means essentially instead of dropping from 5 to 2 points of movement, we're dropping from 5 to 4. So it really does help. It should also be mentioned that Null is extremely insane, with currently 17 points of insanity, and he's going to gain 3 more on arrival. Now he does have the Zero Presence secret fighting art, which is absolutely brilliant. He gains +1 strength when attacking a monster from its blind spot. I'm going to pop that there to help me remember that, because that's going to proc every time. Whenever you attack a monster, you are always considered to be in its blind spot. Amazing stuff. Now it does have the Rageaholic disorder here. Whenever you suffer a severe injury, also suffer the Frenzy Brain Trauma. That may not be a bad thing for us, but severe injuries are pretty much to be avoided at all times anyway. All right, that is our survivors. All right, that is it. Let's take our survivors on out and hunt this monster. And what are we going to hunt? Let's go for the white lion, the level 3 white lion. Alright, here we have our crew at the beginning of the hunt, and check it out, the white lion, he is so far away. We've got a long trek ahead here. Now, because Ceres has taken the pickaxe along, we're going to place the mineral gathering event somewhere up towards the end. We might chuck it on the first random event after Overwhelming Darkness. We want to put it after Overwhelming Darkness because it's next to impossible to get the main event unless we put it after. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Anyway, with everything set up, let's move our survivors into the first hunt event and let's see how we go. Sea of Golden Grass. Fields of golden grass lay ahead. The event revealer may choose to avoid the plains and roll twice on the hunt event table before moving on the hunt board. Otherwise, each survivor gains +1 courage and the event revealer rolls on the table. Well, I don't actually know who our event revealer is going to be here, so let's just go Lex. She's pushing forward, she's the new survivor in the mark, and so yeah, who better? So let's go ahead and roll on the table. This grants everybody +1 courage, which is very nice. And with a 5, the survivors circle the tall grass, lost. Roll on the hunt event table before moving on the hunt board. Not great, but I'll tell you what, that courage is worthwhile because Dis has crossed his final courage event. See the truth. Alright, big stuff here. You suddenly recall a meeting with a strange masked man who for a moment opened your second eyelids. What you saw filled your mouth with the taste of your own death. Suffer the blind, severe head injury and taste death. If you're already blind, do not suffer it again. Well, he's not blind. He does have destroyed genitals, though. I forgot about that. So we're going to go ahead and roll. Grab our dice here. And we get a big number. That's a 10. The 10 for us is the sour taste of death. When your second eyelids opened, you saw thousands of small life forms swimming through the air. They crawled over you, stealing tastes of your sweat and blood. Death was near. You wondered how your fear tasted. A puckering, sour flavor filled your mouth, and you decided that you must never die. Gain the following ability: Sour Death. When you are knocked down, you may encourage yourself, even if deaf. If you do, gain a +1 strength token. That is very cool. Now that comes with a price, and we do suffer a -1 to accuracy. Bummer. Let's hope we can roll well, that it doesn't affect us. All right, well, now that we've resolved the Sea of Golden Grass, we can't go anywhere. We need to roll a random hunt event. So let's roll. And that is a 54 for us. Let's see what we get. Bone Storm. Mighty winds tear across the landscape, collecting chips of stone and skeletal remains. The survivors huddle together on the outskirts of the storm. They may either brave the storm or wait it out. If we brave the storm, all survivors gain +1 courage and suffer 1 event damage to 3 random hit locations, and we archive all fragile gear. Or if we wait it out, we roll twice on the hunt event table before moving on the hunt board. What? Alright, I think I'd prefer to roll the damage and get the courage than to have to roll twice more on the random stuff. Alright, we'll start with Lex. Waist, arms, and legs. Series. 2 to the legs, 1 to the arms. Next is Dis. 2 to the hands, 1 to the chest. And lastly, Null. Chest, arms, and waist. Alright, that was a pretty brutal encounter here. Let's keep on going. Get the hell out of here. Oh wait, let's give everyone their courage first. And wouldn't you believe it, Ceres gains her 10th point as well. Another see the truth. Alright, so she gains the blinded ability, and this kind of sucks because that ruins her timeless eye fighting art. We can't use that anymore. Ooh. And she gains that -1 accuracy. Damn it. We roll on the table though. We get a 6. She gets bitter. When your second eyelids opened, everything looked the same. There was no wonder and no mystery. Death was simply everywhere. A bitter flavor filled your mouth as you accepted your harsh reality. Gain the berserker fighting art and the following ability. Bitter Frenzy. Each showdown the first time you suffer the frenzy brain trauma, gain D10 survival, which you may spend while frenzied. Whoa! That is pretty cool, except I'm pretty sure frenzy only works with melee weapons. Yeah, it's not going to be too useful to us. There's the berserker fighting art. Once per showdown, you may spend your activation to suffer bash and the frenzy brain trauma. Honestly, don't see us using it, so that is a bit of a shame. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, we can push our survivors onwards to the next hunt event, Scratching Grounds. Claw marks scar the ground. The survivors may choose to investigate. Each survivor that investigates gains +1 courage and rolls on the table. Now, the worst case scenario here is we suffer 1 event damage to the arms, or we could potentially gain some resources. I think we should investigate. We'll start with Lex. We'll roll for her. Oh, and a 2. That does mean 1 event damage to the arms for her. Good news is though, that courage will get her the bold story event. We'll do that in just a sec. We'll continue on through here. Next up, we have Ceres. Now, we're really hoping for that 9 to 10 here, because we're certainly not doing it for the courage, are we? An 8. Oh, so close. Nothing happens. What about Dis? High numbers. Another 8. Not good enough. And null, lastly. Hey, there we go. The Lion Claw White Lion resource. That is this guy here. We'll take that with us. Very, very good. So that was 1 courage for everyone who could, and Lex gets the bold story event. So let's do that one real quick. Alright, so this is a hunt phase triumph for us. Expect the unexpected. You are prepared to face any mind-bending trials at a moment's notice. Where others may falter, you forge ahead, meeting the journey head-on. Gain the following ability and roll on the table below. Prepared. When rolling to determine a straggler, add your hunt experience to your roll result. And then we roll the dice, and with a 9... that is +1 permanent strength. Nice work. She's a survivor, this one. Since at least one of our survivors investigated, we don't have to roll a random hunt. Well, yet. And we move our survivors on. Yes, here we go. To a random hunt. Let's see what we get. 62. All right, here we have space between the rocks. The survivors are distracted by a dark crack in the endless sea of stone faces. If any survivor has a pickaxe, they strike the ground, causing the crack to expand into a gaping hole. Bravely reaching inside, the survivor produces a blackened, twisted hunk. Gain 1 iron strange resource. Yes! Love it. Otherwise, each survivor rolls 1d10. The lowest scoring survivor, in case of ties, becomes the straggler. We have no straggler here. This is brilliant. Cool. That was a great random event. 62. Feel free to come back whenever you'd like. For the moment, though, we'll just be taking one of these. Onwards to the next random event. Let's shuffle that along, and we'll roll the dice. 22. Not quite 62. Alright, acid rain. I don't like the sound of this. The darkness above is suddenly alight with a storm of acid rain. It smells terrible, burns flesh, and forms hissing pools in the upturned mouths of the stone faces. All survivors suffer monster-level event damage to every hit location as they scramble to find shelter. What? That is 3 damage to each hit location. Whoa. If the settlement has sculpture, the survivors silently watch the storm erode the stone faces, erasing their features. They wonder exactly who or what repairs the broken faces, if there is such a thing. The survivors share a dark laugh, each gaining monster level survival. We roll 1d10 and on a 6+, the storm moves homeward and we add the acid storm settlement event to the timeline next year. Let's roll. A 1, no such luck. But 3 damage to each location. Oh. I don't alarm anyone here, but I don't think we're going to make it this time. Dis has almost no armor at this point, and everyone else is absolutely struggling far out. We are going to want to get really lucky in this encounter coming up. All right, we move into the next hunt phase, and what do we got? Lion in heat. The darkness is filled with unearthly screeching and yowling. Huddled together, the survivors close their eyes but cannot sleep. All survivors suffer 1 brain event damage. Oh. All right, with that out of the way, our survivors move into overwhelming darkness. Last time we hit this, it was not good for us. Let's hope we can do better this time. Alright, so we have a bunch of insane survivors, but thankfully they are all brave. And I think we'd better send all of our survivors down the path of the brave. Alright, let's line them up, let's roll some dice, and let's see how we go with it all. Oh, that was a 3 there. Get back there. And a 9. All right, with our 3s, who is that? Will be Ceres and Dis. You punch yourself in the face to chase away any doubt, and they gain -1 accuracy tokens. Not good for poor Ceres, who's now going to be sitting on -2. Lex hits the 6. A massive whale swims overhead. Your guts quiver with its booming cries. You vomit in fear, but keep a brave face. Gain a -1 evasion token. And then after this event, all other survivors gain +1 survival from your bold display. Lastly, Null gets the 9. With your lantern held high, you cut a path through the teeming darkness. Suffer 1 event damage to your arms. All right. Really not a good run for us so far, but we do pass overwhelming darkness without any casualties. Only half the board to go. We're going to go ahead and hit the mineral gathering story event first. Ceres brought along the pickaxe, so let's go ahead and resolve that one. All right, so each survivor with a pickaxe is going to roll the dice, and we're going to resolve the amount rolled on the mineral gathering table, hoping for big numbers here. Did we do it? 8+, yeah! This is the one that we wanted here, guys. Gain 1 scrap basic resource. If this event occurs after overwhelming darkness, you find a cave. Resolve all rolls on mineral gathering, then any survivor may descend to the worm tunnels. Looks like we can only send 1 survivor. Any survivor may descend to the worm tunnels. All right. Let's go ahead and send Null in there. So we're in the worm tunnels here, and we have to make our way down all the way to Lantern City. Now this is next to impossible for us because we obviously don't have everything we need. As you can see here in the worm tunnel, we may roll 1d10 and add 2 to the result if you have a sickle. We don't have a sickle, so we're just going to be rolling naturally here. Guys, we need an 8+ for this to work, and I don't like our odds. Let's roll anyway. Whoa, okay. We get the 9. We get our 8+. Okay, don't panic. You find 1 iron strange resource embedded in the hairy crystal. Choose to either gain the iron or spend 2 survival to follow a crystal trail leading you into the crystal lake. All right, so we can either gain an ability in the crystal lake here, or we can gain insanity or iron or 2 iron. Stuff it. Let's spend the survival and head on down. There's some pretty cool stuff there. Okay. Null spends 2 survival and we roll in the crystal lake. Oh, okay. We get our 9. Guys, we've made it to the Lantern City, or so we have. You find 2 iron strange resources in the ceiling. You may either gain them or spend 3 survival to descend into the Lantern City. Let's just have a brief sneaky look at what this has in store for us. If we roll a 1 to a 4, if our survivor is insane, they die. I'm telling you right now, he's insane. This might not be a good idea. If we get a 5, 6, 7, 8, or a 9, we gain 4 iron strange resources and 3 scrap. Then if we get a 10, we can get 1 piece of armor gear of our choice from the blacksmith settlement location. Look, Null hasn't spent his reroll. When else are we going to get the chance to go here? We have to do it. We have to do it. Okay. We knock Null down to 3 points of survival. And we're going to go ahead and roll in Lantern City. We need a 5+. We need a 5+. We ready? Oh, thank goodness. Far out. Okay, we get the 7. A yawning forge stands cold in the center of the city. Dismantling it, you gain 4 iron strange resources and 3 scrap basic resources. Hectic. Oh my god. All right, so that's 4 of these guys and 3 scrap. I don't know where I've put the scrap cards, but that's okay. I'll write it down. Null, you absolute legend. We are never doing that again, guys. Far out. Okay. Back into the hunt phase we go. We finished our mineral gathering and we move our survivors into a random event. Let's roll 27. Guys, it's the man-stealers again. No. Exhausted, the survivors rest. During their fitful sleep, a small insect approaches undetected. Choose 1 random male survivor and roll on the table. If there are no male survivors, nothing happens. If the chosen survivor has the unconscious fighter fighting art, nobody does. All right. Null is odds. Dis is evens. Rubbish. Alright, so we have to roll 1d10 here, and we have the opportunity to gain even more destroyed genitals. Guys and gals, you ready? I'm calling that a 10. That'll do any day. What happens? You wake with a start, terrified to find menacing pincers approaching. Your defenses are quick. Without thinking, you wallop the insect crawling on your pants, suffering 1 event damage to the waist. Alright, cool. We are done with that, and I'll tell you what, we're running out of armor points. Let's move our survivors into the next hunt card. What do we get? Marked territory. The white line has marked this area. If any survivor has 3 or more understanding, they realize the area is covered in ammonia. We definitely have someone with 3 or more understanding, but we already have ammonia, so nothing to worry about there. We have to roll a random hunt event. I am over these things. Wow. What do we get? 19. The exhalation of darkness. The survivors are enveloped in a steamy darkness that dims their lantern lights. They become separated from each other and hopelessly lost. If a survivor has the leader fighting art, they boldly stride into the clammy darkness and gather everyone. Otherwise, each survivor rolls 1d10. The lowest scoring survivor, or survivors in case of ties, becomes the straggler. All right. Let's roll for everybody here from the top. 7. Uh-oh. That is Ceres with the 1 there, but she actually has the prepared ability. That 1 becomes a 13, so I doubt she's going to be the loser here. Lex, of course, has prepared as well, but she doesn't have any hunt XP. Dis with the 6, unfortunately, he doesn't have prepared. He has the stalwart ability, which means he is our straggler. Roll the dice, see what he gets. A 9, that has got to be good. 9+. You're not sure how, but you leave the darkness with your hands full. Gain 1 random basic resource. Well done, sir. Well done. We score a monster organ. To our next lion hunt event, we get lion sculptures. A crudely arranged effigy stands before the survivors, decorated with small metal trinkets, human fingers, and stuffed with dried tall grass. Their quarry's sculpture confounds the survivors. The survivors gaze at the arrangement, attempting to glean the substance of the white lion's bizarre, inhuman intelligence. Each survivor gains +1 understanding and +1 insanity, and we've got another random hunt event. And with that, Null actually gets his insight. Alright, so this is a Hunt Age Epiphany. You dream before you, toiling silently, a strange creature with the imprint of a human face sculpts stone faces into the ground. You meet its concave gaze and wake. Gain the following ability and roll on the table below. Explore. When you roll on an investigate table, add +2 to the result. And then for our dice roll, we get a 3. Reroll 1 hunt event result this hunt phase. Bah. Alright, let's roll our random hunt event here. 44. We get Opportunists. While investigating their quarry's tracks, the survivors realize they are hunting not one, but 2 monsters. The 2 sets of tracks soon separate, leaving the event revealer to pick which tracks to follow. If they follow the larger tracks, continue hunting as normal. If they follow the smaller tracks, start the showdown immediately. At the start of the showdown, the monster suffers 5 wounds. If the survivors are victorious, they gain half the basic resources and half the monster resources rounded up from the rewards in the aftermath. Guys, I think we may... This is our best opportunity to take on a level 3 white lion here. We are going to choose the smaller quarry. 5 wounds is nothing to sneeze at, especially when we are so badly wounded. I think we jagged it here, people. All right, guys and gals, it's time to hunt the small level 3 white lion. Let's go. All right, here we are with our very first level 3 white lion. Now, it's probably not a true level 3 because we have knocked 5 wounds off him straight away thanks to a lucky random hunt roll. But I'll tell you what, that doesn't stop this guy from being an absolute beast. Let me just quickly run through his traits. And they start with the usual cunning trait. At the end of each monster turn, the monster extends its claws. If there are any adjacent survivors, target one at random and full move the white lion directly away from all threats. The target suffers grab, which is place target knocked down in front of the monster. Target suffers 1 damage per monster level. And this being a level 3 monster, well, that's just going to add up very quickly. Now, his second trait, this is one that we have never seen before, is the merciless trait. We archive Beast's Paw, Strange Hand, and Straining Neck from the monster's hit location deck. Always treat all survivors as threats despite any effects that say otherwise. Double all damage inflicted by grab. That makes that 6 damage per grab. We had better not let that happen. Next up, we have his Indomitable trait, which we have seen in action before. The old Gregalope grabbed this one, and I believe the Watcher had it as well. Whenever the monster attacks or is attacked, it stands at the end of that attack, making this pretty much impossible to keep a monster knocked down. Now, here are those hit location cards that we've removed from the hit location deck thanks to Merciless. This removes a couple of major critical wound effects, including the Lost Hand effect, the Broken Foot severe injury, and the insta-death card, so we can expect none of these things during the showdown. Now, the level 3 white lion has a bunch of tokens. He's got +2 to damage, +2 to speed, +2 to accuracy, and +1 to luck, which negates any luck that our survivors might have. Now, as far as Showdown's setup has gone, I've made sure that our survivors start in the long grass, and hopefully that means we can negate a hit or 2 here, but that I know is wishful thinking. We managed to pull the iron deposit, but I doubt we'll be getting over there. Our main focus is going to be taking down this lion at all costs. We've got a couple of Arcanthus plants scattered around. This is thanks to the Screaming Antelope gear. It allows us to place these down. And the other resource that we drew is the, the debris pile, which I have placed along the board edge down the bottom here. Again, I don't think we're going to get to that because we just want to survive. All right. I think that is about it here for us, guys. This is a massive showdown, so let's begin as always, starting with the monster turn. First AI card, and we get Color. Closest threat facing and in range. Yeah, I think we've definitely got a survivor for that. How much movement has this guy got? 8 points. Hectic. Okay, well, honestly, it's going to be any of our survivors. We're all the exact same distance away, so I'm going to pick the best candidate here, and trust me, no one is sticking out right now. Honestly, it looks like it's going to be Ceres. She's got the most armor left. That's pretty much all I've got going. Or maybe we could send him over to Null. He's got plenty of survival and a wonderful shield that's going to allow him to get out of the way of these. Yeah, let's do that. So the lion heads over this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Definitely in range here, and faces off against Null. Alright, so this ends up being a 4+ attack. And unfortunately, the cat grass is actually not going to help here. This is complete. The +2 evasion granted by the long grass is completely negated by his +2 to accuracy. Null himself, though, has 1 evasion, so this is going to be 4 dice hitting on 3+. Alright, well, at least we get 1 miss in there. The other 3 are certainly hits, though. Let's find out where. What? 3 to the chest, dude. Now, of course, he has absolutely no armor here, so it looks like we are going to be taking a severe injury straight away. We'll start with a dodge. We'll remove 1 of those. Next, we're going to spend another point of his survival, this time to activate the Steel Shield ability, which allows us to ignore an attack. That leaves 1 last hit, and I don't think there's a way for me to get rid of it. Alright, so I just thought I'd have a quick look at what the community thinks about the Steel Shield. And because it's not an actual survival activation, we can use this ability multiple times to ignore hits. So I'm going to go ahead and spend that 3rd survival to knock out this other chest hit. So I'm definitely going to get Dis out of there, using 1 of his survival. So I'm definitely going to get Dis out of there using 1 of his movement activations. And we're going to go just 1 point away right here. Now that we're not adjacent, it means that nothing happens. Hooray! So we move from there into the survivor's activation, and it's time for us to do as many wounds to this guy as we possibly can. I really think that we should begin with Ceres, who's just over here. Now we're going to try and keep her in the long grass, of course. She's going to load up her arc bow and take a shot with the clawhead arrow. Now this is going to usually hit on a 6+. But thanks to her blindness and an extra -1 to her accuracy, this is going to hit on 8s. Oh. Let's just hope we can make this hit, I guess. Oh! We really needed that there. That is a massive hit for us, and that's going to help a lot because this gives us the -1 to evasion token for him. I don't even care if we don't wound here. That is phenomenal work. So we have a total of 11 strength going on here. Now the monster with a toughness of 14 makes it that we need a 3+ to wound here. That's good for us. Alright, let's do it. Ooh, just sneaking in. So we draw our hit location, the beast's scapular deltoid. This has a failure on it, and we kinda don't want this to fail. So let's pop that down and hope for the 3. 4. Woo. We do make the wound, which is wicked for us. We discard an AI card. We got a perfect hit, didn't we? Oh my god, we got Combo Master. We activated Combo Master. So we rolled a perfect hit before, and this gives us an additional attack. I love it. Okay, here we go. Beast's Flank. This has a wound reflex on it, and it's going to give our attacking survivor the priority target token. So let's hope we can make this worthwhile. 3+. Yes! 5s are solid for us. So that is 2 wounds straight in there. All right, good job, series. I understand now why you are the Lord of all. All right, she's just going to hang out here, but as a result of that attack, she does gain the priority target token. Brutal. Now, I guess we could attack again. She hasn't moved, and we could spend a survival to do that. I think we will, guys. I think we will. So we've run out of clawhead arrow ammo, so we're just going to load up the normal arc bow here. This is going to be 1 dice, and we're going to be hitting on the 7. Thank you, -1 evasion. Oh, a terrible attempt there. Okay, so no hits there. That's fine. I don't care. We got our evasion in there. Beautiful. Where to next, though? Let's get Lex involved with her Zambato. Now we're going to go ahead and try and get in the blind spot up here. Now where is she? Let me move the camera. Now there's Lex all the way out here, and it's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points of movement to get all the way up there. So we'll do that. It is going to take us a dash though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We move into the teeth over here, and then we spend a survival to dash. 1, 2, 3, 4. We only need 4 movement there to get in the blind spot. Beautiful. So the Zenbato usually hits on a 6+, 5 because we're in the blind spot, 4 for her accuracy, and 3+ for the -1 evasion. Good job, girl. 1 dice, 3+. 7, that's a hit for us. Have a look at where the beast's elbow. This has a failure, so obviously we do not want to fail here. What sort of strength are we wielding though? It looks like 11 in total. So again, we are going to need a 3+. Easy enough, right? Right? Yes! We do make it there. So we discard the hit location and 2 wounds because we have it devastating on our Zenbato. Do we dare attack again though? I think we dare. We're on a roll here, guys. Let's clean this up. So we'll spend another point of survival, this time surging. 1 dice, 3+, 5 for the hit. Where are we going? Soft belly, a debilitating blow to the soft belly. 3+ for the wound. Oh, massive. All right, so straight up, that is 2 wounds again, thanks to devastating. What have we got for our critical wound effect though? Gain 1 random white lion resource, and we gain the persistent injury. Organ trail. The white lion's intestines hang from the wound on its gut, dragging on the floor. At the start of every monster turn, before it draws an AI card, roll 1d10, and on a result of 1, the monster suffers 1 wound. I'm going to go ahead and just chuck that on top of the AI deck, because otherwise I will totally forget here. And we gain a resource. Now let me shuffle up. What do we got, Johnny? We have some sinew. All right. Now, I realize that Lex is going to be pretty stuck there for this encounter. Now, this is not a big deal for us because the round structure begins with the monster and ends with the survivors. So essentially, after this round, all of our survival actions will reset, and I'm going to be able to dash my way out of the way. Well, that's the plan anyway. We shall see. We move next into Null's turn. Now, he's just got 3 points of movement, but we've already spent his movement activation going from here to here, avoiding that cunning trait. So we're just going to move 2 spaces because we can do this because we have 2 movement activations to play with thanks to his, what is it, the antelope mask, I believe. Now we could go ahead and move again, spending some survival, but I think we'd better save his survivals for some more deadly attacks. How about that? Let's hang out there and we'll attack with our shield. Now I'm going to zoom in there because we want a close-up of all of that. There they are. All right. Now the shield hits on a 6+, but we do have that -1 evasion token on the monster, and he does have 1 accuracy. So we're just rolling 4s here. We only get 1 dice to muck around with, but 1 dice 4+ is solid. Sneaking in there. Good job. We draw our hit location, and we get the beast's ear. Now this has a failure on it, so hopefully we don't fail. Let me count up the strength because this shield is a bit of a beast. 6 strength on the shield, 5 strength naturally on the stat board, and it looks like we have 3 strength tokens. That brings us up to 14, which means we're going to be wounding on anything except for a 1 here. A 6 will do it. Love it. And we discard another wound. We've still got 8 cards in the deck, so I'm thinking we may as well roll again here. Oh no, that's right, we're not spending survival. Okay, safety first, kids, safety first. Okie dokie, let's move in to Dis's activation. Now he's a little bit far away to get a proper move in, but I think we can do a little something with his white lion gear. So let's go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Then from here, we're going to spend a point of survival to dash, gaining our movement point back. The reason we want to do this is because we want to Pounce, activating his white lion coat. Now this requires both our movement and our activation, but thanks to a cheeky use of survival, we are all good in that manner. Now the Pounce allows us to move 3 spaces forward, and we get to activate our weapons with a bit of a bonus. We gain a +1 to strength and a +1 to accuracy. Now, if we were attacking with daggers or katars, this would be a massive boost, but alas, we are not, so that will do it for us. Now, it's not all good news. Dis has some pretty poor accuracy going on. He's got a -1 accuracy token, and thanks to the blindness he gained in the hunt phase, well, that's -2 to accuracy, which means base value here, we're hitting on 7s. Now it's great news that we can negate one of those to make it 6, but it's still pretty horrific. The good news is though, we get to roll 4 dice. So, 4 dice, 6 plus. What? We roll 4 dice, 6 plus, and we get 4 4s. What was that? What are the odds of that? Shit. All right. Well, we lose our bonuses there, and that was the worst roll in the universe. I'm thinking we should probably surge, but we do lose our bonuses, and we go back up to 7s here. All right. Let's surge. 4 dice. Come on. 6 plus. 2 hits. Far out. I think we're just going to have to take that. Okie dokie. What do we get, people? We get the fleshy gut, which has a failure, and the beast's tail, which also, no, that's a reflex. Ooh, let's go ahead and we'll do the fleshy gut first. What sort of strength have we got? All right, 9 points, not amazing. Means we're gonna need 5s to wound here. Okay, a 6 is good enough for me for the fleshy gut. So we lose that hit location and an AI card, and then we go for the beast's tail. Okay, so the reflex is going to happen either way, so let's just hope we can make it worth our while. 5 plus. Oh, that was hectic. I don't know if you could see a 10 brewing there, but I saw a 10 flicking fall over. That's a shame. All right, so let's discard that, but we do get the wound, so that is lovely. Oh, wait, hang on. I forgot, we have a reflex to deal with. Shush. Okay, we full move the monster forward in a straight line, cancel all hits now out of range. Any survivors passed over suffer grab. Well, he is facing towards Ceres, so he's going to charge down that way. Full move forward, what's that? 8 points. That's going to send him right down to the board's edge. Boom! Let me just readjust. There is our beautiful white lion boy. He's amazing. All right. So back here, Ceres gets charged at. Good news for us though is she has the tumble fighting art, which means we get to roll a dice here. And on a 6 plus, well, she can ignore collision, which is kind of cool. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, good stuff. So we can avoid the collision. Now we have to move her out of the path of the lion, which means we have to put her in quite a dangerous spot over here. Because that's the only spot that's out of reach of that charge. Oh, I don't like that. With that, we move into the lion's activation. First up, we've got to deal with our persistent injury, the organ trail. We're going to roll the dice here. If we score a 1, he loses a wound. And it's a 5. Not good enough. It's okay though. We draw a card and we draw size up. Random threat in field of view. All right, despite the fact that this is a random threat, the monster is picking the target, so he's going to be targeting our priority target series. So this is an intimidation attack here. The monster stares down its prey, turn to face the target and roll 1d10. On a 4+, the target suffers 1 brain damage per monster level and is knocked down. Hoping for not a 4+ here. It's a 7. Alright, that sucks. So 1 brain damage per monster level, 3 damage. That's alright, she's got brain armor to the hilt, but she is knocked down. Alright, so that marks the end of the lion's activation. We quickly check out his cunning trait, but as you can see, no one is adjacent to him, so nothing to worry about there. Cool. Alright, now that we're into the survivor's second activation, I've gone ahead and realized I've missed a couple of things, so let me just quickly touch on those. For starters, our soft belly critical wound that we got before, well, we get nothing here. Because of the monster's luck, it negates our critical wound. So we're going to go ahead and chuck this sinew back in the monster pile there, and any wounds that he may have lost due to the organ trail, well, we'd give them back, but it was such a slim chance he didn't get them anyway. Alright, now there's one other thing, one fairly important thing that I've failed to mention here. Ba-bam! Horripilation. Thanks to Ceres bringing the final lantern, all the survivors gain this Horripilation status card. And this ties in with a very special dice that I have forgotten to use up to this point. So the final lantern's frenetic light causes bilious anxiety. While its energy brightens your lantern, the hairs on your body bristle. Now, Ceres starts off with this beautiful death dice here. Now this means she can use some of the pulse discoveries. Now we only have level 1 unlocked here, which is add an attack roll to an attack using this dice, of course. Now I forgot to do that in the opening round, that's fine. It being the change of round though, the death dice changes hands and we're just gonna move it on down the line. So it's gonna go from Ceres to Lex. Now hopefully I remember to use it this time, but I think that's about it. Okie dokie. So, beginning of the survivor's activation, we're going to have everybody stand up and let's get attacking. Now, we've got a handful of wounds that we've got to get out of the way here, so I'm thinking we may as well start with Ceres. Any chance to wound is a good wound, so we're going to start off by spending a point of survival to surge. This gains us that extra attack activation, and we're going to use that with her movement point to do an attack with the arc bow. Now this is just going to be 1 dice, and it's going to be hitting on 7s. Let's roll. Oh, whoa! Okay, that is going to be a second roll for us, thanks to her combo master fighting art. 2 hits. No, wait, just 1 hit there. That's fine though. 1 hit is solid. So we get this one here, the Glorious Mane, which is unfortunately an impervious hit location. So this cannot be wounded and will not remove any AI cards. So the only effect that this one would have is if we scored a critical wound, but of course, thanks to the White Lion's luck token, that is impossible for us. So there's nothing going on there. We're now going to go ahead and dash this time to gain the extra movement point, and we're going to use that with her existing movement point to get a second attack in with the arc bow. Again, 7+. A 9, solid. Find out where this one's going. Beast Maw. Now this has a failure on it, so this is not likely to be a good thing for us. Let's find out what sort of strength we got again. I forget. 9 and 5. We will wound on anything except for a 1. That is fine for us. A 5 and a wound. Good, so no failure off there, and we discard an AI card. Now that is the end of her activation, so we're going to go ahead and move into who wants to activate. Let's get Dis in there. There he is up top, and we're going to try and use his Pounce ability again. So we're going to go 1, 2, and I think that's the best I got there. We're going to go there, and then we're going to spend a point of survival to dash. This drops us down to 2 survival. But now we can use our activation and our movement activation to pounce, moving 3 points straight ahead. Now, same as last time, we gain a bonus to our accuracy and to our strength. The accuracy helping negate some of the crappier points we've gained this lantern year. This here is going to need 6+ off 4 dice, and we know how terribly he went last time. How do we go this time? All right, just the 2 hits again. 1, and let's get rid of that one there. 2 hits, 2 hit locations. We must be coming close to a trap. First off the beast's knee, second off the beast's brow. Let's begin with the beast's knee, as there is no effect there. So we've got a total of 10 strength, including our token here, which means we need a 4 to wound. A 3, no good. So we miss out on the beast's knee and we move to the beast's brow. Now this has a wound reflex. Let's hope we can make it with that 4. A 7, much better. So we do get a wound and we're going to discard an AI card. But what is this wound reflex? Snarling, the monster swats at its attacker. The attacker suffers 1 brain damage and perform a basic action targeting the attacker. Ouch. That drops us down to 4 insanity. Let's see what this basic activation has for us. Now this has 2 evasion, which will negate the +2 to accuracy. 4 dice, 2+, yikes. Oh, 3 hits. Let's find out where, yikes. All right, arms, chest, and waist. Now let's go ahead and dodge one of these guys. I'm thinking the chest one, but we are going to have to take all that damage, 4 points, to the arms and to the waist. That means 2 severe injuries. Let's roll for the arms first. Let's go big. The arms one is hit the dirt. The blow sends you sprawling and you are knocked down. Certainly not the worst thing that could happen for one of these at least. Let's go for the other one, rolling for the waist. Big numbers. 9, big 2. Sweet! We get a bruised tailbone. The base of your spine is in agony. You cannot dash until Showdown ends. You are knocked down and gain 1 bleeding token. We're still in it, but no dashes. I think we can still get out of its cunning range if we try really hard, but hectic stuff. Alright, so we can't really stand up here, so let's just leave him. Brutal. On to the next survivor. We got 2 guys left. Let's get Lex in there. First movement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to spend a survival to dash. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go here, and we're going to attack with the Zanbato. This is just 1 dice on a 4+. A 7 is a hit for us. Let's find out where. Beast ribs. I'm getting so nervous here. Now this has a wound reflex on it. Alright, got a total of 11 strength going. So this is going to be a 3+. An 8. Wicked stuff. So we lose 2 cards from the AI deck, again, thanks to that devastating ability, and we resolve the wound reflex. If the attacker has 3 or more understanding, the sound of cracking ribs is encouraging, and the attacker gains +1 survival. Unfortunately, we only have 2 points here, so we don't get to resolve that one. Okay, well, I guess we may as well surge here. It's the smart thing to do. But I'll tell you what, we're going to do things a little bit differently. We've got our usual dice roll, but we are going to activate the level 1 pulse discovery on the Horripilation card to add an additional dice roll to the attack. Now, of course, the Zanbato is slow, which means the speed can never be greater than 1, but this has nothing to do with speed. We're going to be rolling 2 dice here, hitting on 4s. Just as well, too. We have a 7 here and a 1 down here, so we just sneak in with 1 wound. We draw our hit location, and it's a beast temple. Now this has a failure on it. We don't really want to fail here. We're gonna need a 3+ to make this work. Let's roll the red dice. A 9, that is good for us. So we get 2 wounds. Discarding the last from the AI deck, we have to shuffle up the discard for this one now. We've only got 2 cards here. We'll get rid of 1. That leaves 1 card, this one here, left in the AI deck, which means there are 2 wounds to go. Null, can we do this? We could get in there with an attack. Check this out. We are going to move Null straight down here. 1, 2. That's as far as he can move with 1 single movement activation. The good news is, thanks to his antelope mask, he gets 2 movement points. 1, 2. He's also got a dash in him. Now the catch here is he only has 3 points of survival left. Let's go all in here, people. We're going to spend 1 point of survival and we're going to dash, moving him in next to the lion. Let's shuffle this down and let's hope he can make a couple of wounds here. We need perfect rolls, essentially. Okay, to start, we're attacking with the steel shield. This is usually a 6+. We get a -1 to evasion thanks to the -1 token. Now the shield will hit normally on a 6+, but we get a -1 on that thanks to the -1 evasion. And I forgot to take this into account before, his 0 presence secret fighting art makes it as though he's attacking from the blind spot anywhere he's attacking from. So this is 1 dice on a 4+. A 6 is good. Oh, hit location, come on, come on, come on. The fuzzy groin. We hit the monster right in the ding-dong, always a favorite. 11 strength between the weapon and the natural strength, and then we've got a bunch of tokens bringing us up to 14. As long as we don't roll a 1 here, we've got the wound. Very nice. Oh man, so that is a wound there. The monster is down to 0 AI cards. We're gonna surge, going all in. We roll for our final attack this turn. Steel shield, 4+. What is it? It's a 6. It's a 6. We get our hit location, please don't be a trap. Oh, we do okay. The beasts heal, this is as good as we can get it. There's no reflex, there's no failure, there's no nothing on here. As long as we don't roll a 1, we have beaten the level 3, well, the weak level 3 white lion. Oh no! No! Guys, we didn't do it. Oh no! There's no failure on there, but, oh crap. Okay. Crap. The white lion activates. We're gonna do his movement attack. This is the closest survivor in field of view. That means it's going to be one of these 2 guys over here. Let's go odds at the top, evens down the low. Odds it is. Jeez. Alright, so he's going to attack Null. This is going to be a 4-speed attack, and it's going to be hitting on anything except for a 1. We get a taste of our own medicine here. Oh, wait. We have a break in the flow. We have a break in the flow, guys. No worries. Thanks to it being a new round, all of our survivors, they have their movement, they have their activations back. Most importantly, they have their survival activations back. And they're the only things that we're allowed to use during this break of the flow. So, Null, let's finish this. So, alright, this is what's happening. During our break in the flow here, this line here, we are going to use survival. You're going to use specifically Null's survival to surge and attack. Now, he's already surged and attacked last turn, but like I said, this is a new round, so we have all of those opportunities back. We're going to roll our 1 dice, attacking with that freaking steel shield. 4+. An 8. Okay, hit location, not a trap. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards left in the hit location deck. Yes, the beast's tricep. This has a failure on it. Another good opportunity for us. Don't roll a 1. How's that? Let's not roll a 1 here. A 3. A terrible roll, but in this case, it is enough to wound. We have taken down the White Lion's last remaining hit point during the break in the flow. He never even gets a chance to attack. The beast is down. Come gather around, survivors, and let's bask in our glory. Thank you, Null. Fantastic last hit there. Now, of course, this isn't like a total victory. It feels kind of hollow because, well, we started the showdown 5 wounds in. And I'm sure we would have been fine had we gone into this encounter with at least a little bit of armor, but we had to go the easy option, am I right? Now, this is the first time we get to experience the level 3 White Lions rewards. For starters, everyone gains 200 XP and 1 point of weapon proficiency. All right, Lex passes her very first age milestone, so let's quickly roll for that. This is the one that would usually allow her to select her weapon proficiency, but she was born quite gifted, so we don't really worry about that. We're just gonna roll 2 dice, where is good. Let's just sneak them in there. We get 15, which is enough for a random fighting art. Let's see what sort of survivor she's gonna build to be. And we get the unconscious fighter fighting art. It takes 7 bleeding tokens to kill you. Cool. Next, we gain our rewards. All right, here are our rewards. We would usually gain 4 basic resources and 8 White Lion resources. Unfortunately though, because of our Opportunist hunting event thing, I think that's what it was, we have to drop this down by half for each. So 2 basic resources and just 4 White Lion resources. So as far as the basic stuff, we get a questionable, that's always good, and a monster hide. And for the monster specific stuff, we get some white fur, some more white fur, a eye of cat, and the great cat bones. Now, thanks to our scavengers kit, we may draw an additional item from either the basic resources or the White Lion gear. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw from the White Lion gear, and we get a lion tail. Now, on top of this, we gain 1 additional item, 1 Elder Cat Teeth Strange resource. This is a new one. The first of our sort of legendary pieces that we can start to craft coming up soon. Wow, check that out. The Elder Cat Teeth. As sharp as they are strange. I'll tell you what, that is very nice. From memory, we can craft a very nice dagger with that bad boy. So that's cool. Now there's a little extra bit here. If the settlement has Saga when they defeat a level 3 greater White Lion, they create and perform a stirring tale. Gain +2 endeavors next settlement year. Unfortunately for us, we never got up to Saga. So yeah, I guess that's it for our rewards. That's okay though, guys. I'm just happy to have 4 living survivors after such an encounter. Let's take our guys home and let's deal with this next legend year. Far out. Let's go. Alrighty, our 4 returning survivors bring with them 4 endeavors. We move into Lantern Year 23, and this brings with us just 1 story event card, so let's draw that. It's pretty insane. We almost had Acid Rain, but not this time. Gonna shuffle up and draw a little something something. We get the Dark Trader. Now I think we've seen this guy come through before, and he's a fairly interesting event. A corpulent man reclines on a chair carried on the backs of 4 cloaked men. He offers to sell the settlement many amazing treasures. Each item may be purchased only once. So for 6 resources, we may purchase the Strange Brew, that when we consume could freeze our throat and kill us, and gain us the Rageaholic disorder and the intracranial hemorrhage severe injury, or it can burn us into gaining +1 permanent accuracy if we roll a 10. No thank you. In fact, all of these things are very similar. The pink stone down here, we can either get nothing, a founding stone, or if we roll that 10, the immortal disorder, which would be very cool, but it's just not feasible, right? The shiny, sexy jeweled thong, though, will cost us 7 resources. On a 1 to 2, it reduces our evasion because it is so uncomfortable. That's amazing. On a 3 to 9, it falls apart as soon as the trader leaves. And then on the 10, wearing it feels incredible. Gain +1 permanent luck. I always kind of push this guy off. I'm not interested in our 10% chance at Jack at this point. We are playing smart here, so let's continue on. Lantern U23 is not all non-events though. We do happen to have a Nemesis encounter this round, and it's a doozy. Butcher level 3. Ugh. Alright, so we're going to prepare with that in mind. Far out. Cool. Alright, so we update the death count, no deaths, and we move to the development phase. Now, I think we'll do the usual here. I'm going to just stop the recording here, try and figure out what we're going to get, and then I will come back in just a sec. Alright, so let's go ahead and start big at the Caterium. We're going to go ahead and cash in our newly gained Elder Cat Teeth, some muscly gums, a monster organ, a questionable resource, and the Eye of Cat. And we're going to get the Cat Fang Knife. Now this is one of those ultimate weapons that we can gain from killing the level 3 creatures out there. Let's have a closer look. So it's a 3 speed attack, hits on a 6+, 2 strength behind it, and if we can get 3 red affinities on the gear grid, on a perfect hit, gain +1 strength token. When knocked down, remove all your +1 strength tokens. I'll tell you what, I thought this would be more powerful. That's okay though, if we can pick up a second one down the track, maybe throw it together with the Screaming Armor, or no, the cat, the White Lion Armor. This would be a pretty viable option, but nice to have nonetheless. Next up, we head over to the Leather Worker, and we're going to spend our endeavor at the leather making thing down the bottom there. We're going to cash in all of our hide that we have. We've got a couple of pelts and all of our White Lion gear that we gain then for 6 pieces. And we gain 6 leather. I've been building leather for a while, but I didn't actually realize that there was a leather card for this one, so that's what this looks like. So we have 6 leather to play around with, and we're going to go ahead and use that pretty much now. We're going to take our 6 leather and head over to the blacksmith. We're going to cash in those 6 leather and 2 of our newly gained iron to get the lantern gauntlets. Really pushing to complete this set by the end of the campaign. Now these guys, well, they're good for club weapons, which is something that I've just not been building. If we can put together a connected green affinity, +2 accuracy with the club, but 5 armor. Come on, this thing is a beast. Next up, we're going to head over to the Barber Surgeon, and we're going to cash in just one of the screaming brains there, and we're going to grab the Brain Mint. Now this is a consumable item. Remove all your tokens and stand up. You may use this while knocked down once per showdown. This could be negative tokens. Ooh, this is pretty good. I don't know how and when we're going to use it, but it is an option. Now lastly, I thought we'd go out and check out one of these investigates down here. We're going to send a survivor over with an endeavor so we can roll on the chart below. Now we've got a couple of survivors that would be good for this series. Sif and Freya all have the Explore Understanding ability, which allows us to add +2 to this, which basically means no one's going to die no matter what they roll here. Considering Freya's so close to the end of her time, she's just got one more hunt in her before she has to retire, we may as well send her in. Despite the fact she's almost retired though, she's very brave. So let's roll for her, adding +2 to the result. Alright, so we bring the 3 up to the 5, and we gain a Broken Lantern resource. Now, I wasn't really planning on making any babies this time around, so I'm thinking let's do that again. I really want to actually roll a physical 5+. Yeah, Freya's going to do it again. An 8. There we go. That brings us up to a 10, and we get the max here. That is excellent. We add 1 lantern tube strange resource to settlement storage. Let's have a look at this thing. Now we're talking. So this is a very, very strange piece of resource that we found. A fleshy, muscle-lined tube. When you gain this, roll 1d10, and on a 6+, you find something stuck inside. Ooh. A 4. No, we find nothing. That's okay. We would have found a broken lantern inside there, but that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and chuck this in our storage, and I have a feeling that it's going to be used for the oxidization side of things. We've got 1 endeavor left, and I was thinking we might as well spend it, not here, but at the shrine. Any opportunity to grab some extra armor, I'll take. So we'll just send Freya, I guess. There we go, big numbers there, a wasted 10, but we do get our +1 armor to all hit locations, which is solid. Now that's it for all of our endeavors. We're all spent out there, but that's not to say I'm done with this. I want to go ahead and take one of our twins that was born, I think, 2 lantern years ago. We happen to have this sword beetle hanging around, and I don't really feel confident giving it to one of our well-off survivors. Basically, when consuming this, the survivor rolls a dice. On a 6+, they gain +1 strength. It's brilliant. But on a 1 to 3, they die instantly. So like I said, I don't want to give this to something we know and love already, so I'm thinking one of the twins. Doesn't matter who, we're going to go number 25? Yeah. So, hoping for a 6+. 7, beautiful. So +1 strength for her. Now the question is, do we double down? Because I actually have a second one of these floating around in resource storage. So I'll go ahead and erase that. And another 6+, please. Yes, all right. So this survivor has +2 strength on top of all those other strength bonuses they get. Wow. For the moment though, I think that means we are done with the preparations phase. We've gained a bunch of new pieces of gear, and now it is time to prepare our departing survivors because we have a level 3 butcher to take on. Now we're not holding back here, we're gonna send some of the favorites out to do their bit because that's what we're all about here at Bits of Board, right? Right. All right, can't wait for the next episode. See you then. Guys, that was a massive encounter for us. One of the longest hunt phases I think we've ever come across. And it didn't drag, don't get me wrong. That was exciting for me all the way through. But man, did that thing knock us down and then kick the crap out of us while we were down. Oh, I would never want to go into a showdown like we went into a showdown just then. We are so lucky we pulled off that Opportunists story event. 5 wounds saved our butt there. We came this close to not making it through. I reckon one more activation from the lion and anyway, we made it through. Brilliant stuff. We managed to pick some pretty sweet gear. And now that I've edited my way through the video, I did notice a couple of, or at least one major stuff up in there. I'm so sorry about that first combo master. I was just so excited to see it that I forgot to roll for the hit. Now, it's quite unlikely. I mean, the chances were there, but it's unlikely that we would have actually made that hit, so it may have changed a little something. Maybe we would have had to activate with another survivor to knock off that final wound, but I'm not too worried about it. We made it through with some finesse in hand, so I'm pretty happy there. Now, there was another stuff up that I noticed that was during the hunt phase. A couple of those investigate rolls I annotated on there. I'm here to fix it up now, so we're going to draw some white line resources. We get this one. And this one, they are the Great Cat Bones and the Lion Claw. So I'm going to add that to our survivors gear before next step, and then we should be about square. So Guys and gals, thank you very, very much for watching all the way up to this point. Very, very appreciative indeed. If you got anything to say, make sure you chuck it down in the comments below. Make sure you do all those mad things that you YouTubers can do, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I love hearing from you down there, honest to God. All that being said though, guys, we are about done. So, as always, my name's Michael, this is Bits Aboard. We'll catch you next time.